General Hospital's spoilers reveal that Cyrus is deeply consumed by sorrow after witnessing the troubles Lulu is facing. Despite his past filled with cruel actions and mistakes, this time, the concern for Lulu's condition has struck him to the core. As someone who has caused so much pain to others, Cyrus now faces the helplessness of being unable to save his niece from her critical state. Watching Lulu lie in a coma day after day, Cyrus feels the agony she is enduring, which only amplifies the regret in his heart. Lulu's suffering has become a mental burden that Cyrus cannot escape, making him gradually realize that not everything can be resolved with power or violence. In this moment of grief, Cyrus begins to understand more deeply the consequences of his past actions, and this realization adds to the pain he feels when confronted with his niece's desperate situation. After years of living in guilt and wrongdoing, Cyrus is now searching for a path to redemption. His past cruel actions, from running criminal enterprises to causing death and suffering, now haunt him like inescapable ghosts. Faced with the dire situation of his niece Lulu Spencer, who is in critical condition, Cyrus feels the weight of regret pressing heavily on his heart. Lulu lies in a coma with little hope of recovery, and Cyrus believes the time has come to change everything. Confronted by this overwhelming sorrow, Cyrus realizes that there's only one way to erase his past sins: by sacrificing himself. The feeling of uselessness and helplessness in the face of Lulu's suffering pushes him to make a bold decision: to accept death in order to save her life. What Cyrus had never considered before, sacrificing his own life, a man once cold and heartless, has now become the only solution in his mind to atone for his mistakes. Cyrus quietly begins to arrange everything in secret, planning to donate his organs to save Lulu. He knows that his liver might be the only chance Lulu has for survival. For a man who once controlled an entire criminal empire, planning his own death is not difficult, but this is no act of crime. It is a decision driven by deep love and regret. Every step he takes now carries the weight of redemption, as his death becomes the ultimate price to save the one he loves. However, what makes this decision even more significant is the complexity in Cyrus's mind. He doesn't just want to save Lulu from death, but also to escape the darkness of his own soul that has followed him throughout his life. Cyrus sees this act of sacrifice not only as salvation for Lulu, but as the final way to free himself from the cycle of guilt and pain. He believes that by giving up his own life, he can erase all the wrongs he's committed, hoping that in his final moments, his soul will find peace. However, this decision also brings about a profound internal struggle. Cyrus understands that giving up his life is not only about saving Lulu, but also relinquishing everything he has ever controlled and built, no matter how flawed. His death marks not just personal atonement, but the end of a dark era in his life. Whether it's redemption or noble sacrifice, Cyrus's actions carry deep feelings of regret and a yearning for redemption. But the larger question remains: will Lulu be saved in time? And will Cyrus's death truly bring him salvation or plunge him into a greater tragedy? Cyrus's decision not only changes his own life, but profoundly impacts those around him, leaving everything in Port Charles on the verge of unpredictable change. Cyrus decided to sacrifice his life to save Lulu, and when he took his last breath, Lulu was confronted with deep regret. She woke from her coma to discover that her uncle, the man she once despised and blamed for much of her suffering, had sacrificed his own life so that she could live. It was a tremendous shock for Lulu as she realized that the cruel man she once hated was capable of doing something so selfless and filled with love. Cyrus's sacrifice overwhelmed Lulu with a sense of remorse. Memories of the distance and coldness between them flooded back, and Lulu blamed herself for not seeing another side of Cyrus's character. She had always thought of him as ruthless, a man incapable of love or caring for anyone but himself. But now, as the harsh truth unfolded, Lulu realized that in his final moments, Cyrus had expressed his love in the only way he knew how, by giving his own life so that she could continue living. Lulu's regret is not just about what happened between her and Cyrus, but also about the fact that she never gave him a chance to change. Throughout this time, she had kept her distance, not allowing their relationship the opportunity to heal. Now, Lulu realizes she missed the chance to understand her uncle better. to see his efforts in seeking redemption and becoming a better person. The guilt became heavier as Lulu understood that, despite his many mistakes, Cyrus cared about her far more than she had ever realized. Cyrus's sacrifice to save her also left Lulu feeling a tremendous sense of responsibility for the new life she was given. She could not deny that her survival was thanks to the sacrifice of someone she had once rejected, and this made her rethink everything. Lulu not only regretted how she treated Cyrus, but also made a personal vow to live a life worthy of his sacrifice. Yet, the pain and regret over Cyrus's death would remain a burden in her heart, a constant reminder that sometimes the people we least expect are capable of doing the greatest things. Cyrus's sacrifice leaves a complicated legacy, not just for Lulu but for everyone in Port Charles. Lulu now has to face not only the pain of loss, but also find a way to live with the inescapable regret. While Cyrus's death was an act of nobility, it also left deep emotional scars on Lulu, leaving her with the feeling that perhaps it was too late to truly understand the man he was.